In a small, dusty town, far from the shining lights of the city, there lived a poor laborer named Rahim. Every morning, long before the sun even touched the rooftops, Rahim would wake up in his little one-room house. His home was nothing more than cracked walls, a leaking roof, and a broken bed where his wife, Sakina, and their young son, Imran, slept. Despite the poverty, there was always love inside that small house. Rahim's greatest treasure was his family, and his greatest dream was to give his son a life better than his own. Morning struggles. Each day began the same. Sakina would boil tea on a small stove, often without milk or sugar, and hand Rahim a piece of stale bread. Sakina, softly, "Eat something, Rahim. You need strength for work." Rahim, smiling faintly, "Don't worry about me. As long as you and Imran eat, I have strength." He would then put on his old torn shoes and leave for the city, where tall buildings were rising and men like him were needed to build them. A life of hard work. On the construction site, Rahim carried bricks, lifted heavy iron rods, and mixed cement under the burning sun. His hands were blistered, his clothes soaked in sweat and dust, but he never stopped working. The other laborers often mocked him. "Worker one. Rahim works like a donkey, but still look at his life." Worker two, laughing. "He dreams of sending his son to school. With what money?" Rahim stayed silent. Inside his heart he whispered, "Laugh at me if you want. One day, my son will rise above all this." Evening with family. After long hours of labor, Rahim would return home, exhausted and limping, but the moment he saw his son Imran, all his tiredness would melt away. One evening, Imran came running with a small notebook in his hand. "Imran, Abba, today our teacher asked who want to be a doctor." I said, "Me? Will I really become a doctor one day?" Rahim sat down, pulled his son close, and said with tears in his eyes, "Rahim, yes, my son, you will, but you must promise me. Work hard and never give up." That night, Rahim lay awake staring at the ceiling. He had no money for school fees, but he had a dream, and that dream gave him strength. The accident. Weeks later, tragedy struck. While working on the third floor of an unfinished building, Rahim slipped and fell. He injured his leg badly. Other workers carried him to a small clinic. The doctor looked at him and said, "Doctor, you must rest for several weeks. If you continue working, your leg may never heal properly." Rahim felt his heart sink. Rest? For him, rest meant hunger. Rest meant no food for Sakina and Imran. A ray of hope. But fate had something else in store. The construction site owner, Mr. Kamal, had been watching Rahim's honesty and dedication for months. That evening, he visited Rahim's home. Mr. Kamal, "Rahim, I have seen your hard work. Men like you are rare. From today, you will no longer be paid daily wages. I am giving you a permanent job with a monthly salary. Your family deserves security." Rahim's eyes filled with tears. He held Mr. Kamal's hand and said, "Rahim, sir, you have not just given me a job. You have given my son a future, a new beginning." With his new salary, Rahim immediately enrolled Imran in a proper school. The first morning, Imran walked out in a clean uniform with polished shoes. Rahim stood at the door watching him, tears glistening in his eyes. Every evening, Imran would return with stories about his classes. His favorite subject was science. He studied late into the night, while Rahim sat beside him, even though he could not read. "Imran, Abba, look, this is the human body. Someday I'll be a doctor and treat people. Rahim, proudly, and I will be the happiest father in the world." Years later, time passed. Rahim grew older, his back bent from years of hard labor, but Imran grew stronger, wiser, and more determined. Finally, the day came when Imran received his admission letter to medical college. Holding it in his trembling hands, he ran to his father. "Imran, Abba, I got in. I will become a doctor." Rahim's eyes overflowed with tears. He hugged his son tightly and whispered, "Rahim, I was just a poor laborer, Imran. But today, because of you, I feel like the richest man in the world."